Hey guys, welcome to Coach's Corner. You're in for a life-changing experience. Follow us for updates. Shout out to Gishmakhrrring, shout out to Germs, shout out to the Gishmeeps. We are going to change your lives to some holy Torah, Mir Hashem, with Hashem's help. And we are sitting here on the eve of almost the morning of Tainus Esther. We are about to fast, and it's going to be a legendary fast. My plan is to hopefully go to the Kotel for Mincha tomorrow. It's followed by Megillah, followed by breakfast, followed by buzzing, baby. This is buzzing. Okay, so I want to share with you guys an interesting thought that I had on Purim as it's coming up. It's pretty interesting because this year in Yerushalayim we have Purim on Sunday, which is supposed to be on Shabbos, and we have Purim outside of Yerushalayim on Friday. So again, we have Purim on Friday outside Yerushalayim and Purim on Shabbos inside Yerushalayim, aka Shabbos for those that aren't familiar. We will now call it Shabbos. Purim gets pushed off to Sunday because of Shabbos, aka Shabbos. Since Purim is really on Shabbos, you have to say Al Nisim and B'mei Mordechai ben Esther in your Birchas Hamazon, your benching, and your Shemon Esrei. But on Sunday, you just got to do two things: give Mashalach Manos and have a blessed time. Adu Yada, boys. Drink, drink, and drink. So this year's a very intriguing Purim. It's called the 3-day bender, the Purim HaSholosh. And this year we have the opportunity to have Purim on Friday outside Yerush, on Shabbos inside Yerush. That gets pushed off to Sunday because of the Holy Shabbos. So it's very interesting. So on Shabbos itself, we say Al Nisim. We celebrate it as if it's Purim. You'll be saying Al Nisim in your Shemon Esrei and your benching on Shabbos. But on Sunday, you got to do two things, boys. Mishalach Manos, bless up the boys, and bless up yourself, and have a great time. Adu Al Yada, boys. Just bless, just bless, just bless. That's all it is. Just bless, baby. Just bless. But you got to remember one thing that's very important on Purim is be a mensch, not a wrench. Because if you're a wrench on Purim, you got to be a mensch. Okay, so the Shulchan Aruch says, now we're going to talk about real Torah for a second. The Shulchan Aruch says that we need to hear every single word of the Megillah in order to be osik, in order to be part of and doing the mitzvah. It's beautiful. So you comprehend that, you're like, okay, every single word of the Megillah I have to hear. Fine, that makes sense. We were just discussing tonight in Or Sameach, shout out to the Or Sameach boys, in the Megillah, not everything is so relevant to what the main purpose of the Megillah is. Meaning, if one looks through the Megillah, it seems that there are many details that are not super relevant to the actual Purim miracle, which is quite interesting because you would think, being such an integral part of Purim, the Megillah would possess that, which it does, but not everything. Such as every detail of Achashverosh's party, right? They add all these little things about how long, the duration, the special spoons he used, the dishes, the this, the that, the scenery, stuff like that. So what does that have to do with the fact that the Jews were going to get butchered, right? That's the real question here. The principle we're going to allude to right now is, why on Purim do we have to hear this whole Megillah, which is, it's so integral, it's so important. Our rabbis, our Rebbeim all say how important it is to hear the whole Megillah. You have to hear every single word. You have to concentrate. You can't talk after the brachos are said before Megillah. But at the same time, not every single word is so relevant to what we're trying to comprehend and what we're celebrating. How do we tie that into a nice big bow and say this is how it can all make sense? Some of the things written in the Megillah are just simply, and I don't want to use this in a derogatory term, but in a soft way, they're irrelevant. Haman is trying to butcher the Yidden, and then we ultimately kill him due to our Queen Esther. Shout out to Esther. Big day tomorrow. Why are we chayav to hear every single word if a lot of it's not relevant? Because guess what? On Shabbos, when we read the Parsha, right, this past week, Parsha Tetzaveh, did your rabbi get up in shul and say, hey, all right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you guys have to sit down now. We're about to say the brachos of an aliyah, and someone's going to say, Baruch Hu Hashem HaVorach, say Asher Baruch Rabbanim Mikol Amim, and then now you can't talk for the next 7 aliyos, and you have to hear every single word. Because, no, we don't do that every week. So what makes the Megillah special? The fact that it's on Purim, and there's a situation in which we were going to get butchered. So the Vilna Gaon, shout out to the beauty himself, answers that it's true. When we start reading the Megillah, we don't necessarily understand what the whole party has to do with the bigger picture, right? All these little details, all these minor things that are mentioned in the Megillah. But at the end of the Megillah, we can understand that the party led ultimately to the killing of Vashti and the inauguration of Esther becoming queen and eventually Haman getting killed. We have the fact that the party led to the fact that Vashti got killed, Esther became queen, and Haman getting killed is the bigger picture. Every detail in the Megillah is needed. It's so important because it allows us to build and draw and create this bigger picture. It shows Hashem's entire plan. It shows God's plan. And it's so important for us in our lives to take from this beautiful answer that Vilna Gaon says that we have to realize that there's always a bigger picture in these things. We can't just take things in retrospect. We have to look at the bigger picture. And that's what Hashem is trying to show us here. It's such a beautiful lesson that Vilna Gaon is bringing out from Hashem that we have to make sure in our lives, don't jump to conclusions right away.